Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Chevy dealers of the Ozarks, the Bank of Billings, Doak Propane, Shelter Insurance, and Great Southern Bank. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. We go about 230 miles north of my location here at the studio at home up to the Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri state line to the home of the Mound City Panthers and head coach Ryan Osburn. And Coach Osburn, thanks so much for your time today.
Well, thanks for having us. We're really excited to be on.
You guys, 16-0, off to a tremendous start, a Final Four team a year ago. Tell us a little bit about how this season is going, obviously, as well as anyone in the state.
Well, yeah, we've played a tough schedule for a Class 1 team. We won our home tournament early in the year, beat a good LeBlanc team to win the home tournament. Down the stretch here, we are going to play in the North Platte tournament next week, and that'll be the toughest tournament we're in all year long. So we're going to run into some Class 3 schools down there, Class 2 schools that are really good teams. So we're really excited about next week. But so far, I think the season is going as good as expected.
And just a little background on yourself is, kind of how long have you been there at Mound City? Where did you cut your teeth, and where else have you been?
This is my 15th year teaching at Mound City, but only my 3rd year coaching basketball. I coached junior high basketball for 11 years here. Prior to that, I grew up in Fairfax, Missouri, and I taught and coached basketball there. So I coached basketball for 3 years there. But when I started having children, I got out of the high coaching. And then when Tony was bigger here, I started coaching high school basketball again. And I coached lots of junior high. So he's been around the game. So that's my background.
So gym rat, maybe the definition of such. And again, we're visiting with the Mound City Panther head basketball coach Ryan Osburn and Coach Tony Osburn. January 11th scored his 25th 100 point. He's a Midwest McDonald's All-American nominee and an Omaha Maverick basketball commit. Tell us a little bit about what makes Tony special on the floor.
Just over the years, I just work ethic. I mean, hours and hours. And I've told people this before, but he literally started shooting baskets when he was 2 years old on the little Nerf hoop, and we would work on form shooting in his room on a 4-foot hoop, and he just took off with it. I've always stressed ball handling to him, so he can really handle the ball. He's a great shooter, but I would just say over the course of the years, he has put in massive amounts of work to get to this point. And we're really excited about where he is.
Well, Tony, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations on being named a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week. And take us back to that January 11th game against North Nottoway. Did you know where you were with regards to getting to that 2,500-point plateau?
I knew I was pretty close. I wasn't sure the exact number, but I'm taking a lot of shots. My teammates know that, and I'm sure it's not always enjoyable for them, but they know that, and they play their roles super well. But they're excited for me. I mean, we're just really all excited to be playing, and so the stats really don't matter and stuff like that. We just want to win games.
Yeah. What was the bucket? Was it from the free throw line, a three-pointer? What was the bucket?
I think it was. I got a steal at the end of the first quarter, and I had a dunk, and I'm pretty sure that was it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, we'll stick with that. A dunk on 2,500.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's more than memorable. And tell us a little bit from your point of view. Obviously, you're drawing probably the best defender on the other team, maybe a box and one or triangle and two type situation. How do you deal with that? How do you get prepared mentally going into a game? And at this point, you're probably 100 games into your high school career. What do you do to kind of get prepared for that?
I think a lot of it is getting used to it. So like my freshman year, whenever teams started to really guard me like that, it'd rattle me, especially because I was a lot smaller than some of the kids guarding me. But I think it's also just getting yourself in better shape so you're able to move without the ball. And a lot of it is my teammates being able to make shots to where it is harder to box and one us or triangle into us. They're able to step up and make shots, so it's way difficult for the other team to do that.
Tell us a little bit about how your game has evolved from your freshman year. And you mentioned the size and the strength, and obviously just going from 14 to 18. That always helps. But how's your game changed since your freshman year?
I'd say the biggest thing is it's become more of a point guard role rather than my freshman year. I was kind of catch and shoot, and we had really good players my freshman year that would get me open a lot. And then I just think getting way stronger to where I can go inside a little. I can play kids on like the mid post and be able to do things like that rather than just work everything from the perimeter. And then I think really just vertically, just so much physically has changed that's helped me in like more I could really even imagine.
Getting visiting with Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, Mound City Panther Tony Osburn scored his 25th 100th point back on January the 11th. Where are you now, and have you got a shot at 3,000? And maybe that's a question for Coach Osborne. It's going to depend a little bit on how deep you can make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, right now we have 10 regular season games left. He's close to 2,600. I don't know the exact point, but pretty close to 2,600. So I mean, he's going to have some big games, but we'll hopefully play in the district championship game. So there's another 2 games, and then if we could win the district and make a deep playoff run like we did last year, I think he will have a legit chance to get to that 3,000 career point mark.
Yeah, Tony, going back to your freshman year, early in your career, what are some of the goals that you set for your career, and are there still some goals out there that you want to reach? Maybe it's a state championship, maybe it's that 3,000 career point.
I remember when I was in 6th or 7th grade, my dad told me that really, really good players are all state all 4 years of high school that are like class 1. So I remember that. So that's one I've hopefully will accomplish this year if I get it for a 4th time. I set one to be a McDonald's All-American when I was little. I wrote it on a piece of paper. I think another big one would be trying to compete for like a Mr. Basketball, and then the 3,000 point one was always a big one too.
As you look back, who are maybe some of your best rivals there in your area? Folks down here in Southwest Missouri or St. Louis, Missouri, they don't know a lot about Mound City, just like you wouldn't know a lot about Fairplay High School or something in our area. Who are some of the rivals and games that you really get up for and look forward to playing?
Jefferson, who's become Platte Valley, is always, they play us close regardless of the talent-wise. It doesn't matter if they're way more spirited to us or we're way more spirited to them. It's going to be close regardless. And they've knocked us out of the playoffs twice. We knocked them out last year. So that's always a big one. Everybody goes to those games. Later, so like my junior year, Stanberry, they've really given us all we want every time we play them. So I'd say those are probably 2 of the biggest ones.
Now you've committed now to Omaha men's basketball. Tell us a little bit about that decision, how that came about, and what led to that decision.
It was really just between Omaha and North Dakota State, and then a couple came on later, like South Dakota and UMKC. But after I took my Omaha visit, I knew that like the skill development stuff they play really free. They haven't made the NCAA tournament, but they've been close, and I kind of wanted to be a part of something for the first time. So like thinking about going to the NCAA tournament for the first time at some school would be really special. And I just think that they were the first Division I school to offer me that, played a really big role in it. They had a lot of faith and trust in me, and then they would come up to my workouts and stuff, and I felt like they were super interested, and I really wanted to be part of it.
All right. Well, if senior Tony Osborne could go back and give that 8th grader Tony Osborne some advice, what advice would you go back and give yourself?
I think it had to be that my 8th grade through about sophomore year, I was so emotionally unstable. Just like if something would go wrong, it was a meltdown. I think that'd be the biggest thing. And then junior year, it kind of started to get a little calmer. So that'd probably be it. I just wish I could have calmed myself down in big time moments rather than just fold. You
bet. Well, Tony, once again, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations, Athlete of the Week, and we've been following from afar, and as I mentioned, we're 200 plus miles away, and I've had an opportunity with the Missouri Sports Network to get up into that area. With Monroe City, I think is way further to your east, and had a conversation with Coach Idris over there. But always great to catch up and put a face and a voice with that player and that coach you've been hearing so much about. But again, congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach Osborne, what have you got coming up? You talked about the tournament, I believe, you've got coming up. You got 10 regular season games left.
Yeah, we'll have the tough tournament next week, and then the following week we'll have 2 tough conference games. We're undefeated in the conference right now, but we'll have 2 or 3 more really tough conference games, and then after that we'll come to Columbia and play in a Hall of Fame Classic against Lafayette County in their Class 3 and undefeated. Mason Rumsey's a great player. I don't know if you know that name. So we'll have to be really prepared, and then we'll just settle in and get ready for the district. We host the district, so we hope to get a big crowd for that. And, if we can make a deep run again, it would be really exciting for the town.
Well, outstanding. Well, guys, again, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck, and maybe we'll get to catch up with you at the Final Four and maybe do this again. But I really appreciate you guys being generous with your time today.
Well, thank you. We appreciate all you did.
You're listening to the Missouri and watching the Missouri Sports Network here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, and brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Keep it right here, as always.